In Season 2, Episode 3 of The Last of Us, we came across this religious cult that popped up for a brief moment while they were wandering in the woods. As we saw, they were killed in really brutal ways. Men, women, and kids. Didn't matter who they didn't make it out alive. Since there are a lot of questions about who they are, I figured I'd share some backstory on this cult called the Serapites and what we might find out about them. You can expect to learn more about them as the show unfolds. So, let's dive in. Here's the scoop on Season 2 of The Last of Us, specifically about the Serapites. Heads up, this video has spoilers. The Serapite started with a woman who had a vision telling her to embrace a lifestyle that helps her and humanity live off the land, moving away from the comforts and tech that we've gotten way too used to over the years. In this vision, they also say she witnessed the cordyceps outbreak. This suggests that the Serapites are basically farmers. They don't own a lot of stuff, and they really look out for each other. They think the tech advancements and the mistakes humans made might be why everything fell apart. In the episode, it seemed like they weren't violent and preferred to keep their distance to stay safe. But that wasn't the whole story. Some people thought the cordyceps outbreak was God's way of punishing us. They believed the pandemic was humanity getting what it deserved for all the wrong things we've done over the years. It was like we'd taken too much, and it was finally time to go back to how things were long ago. The outbreak was seen as a sort of reset for humans, pushing us to return to our natural ways. As for their beliefs, they were really passionate about them. Closer to the city, a lot of the folks from the areas they took over teamed up with Wolf. They all wanted to push back against the Serapites. It was all about the mess and chaos the Serapites were causing by spreading their beliefs and taking control. The Serapites saw what would happen to their people if Wolf got them, and it was nothing good. It meant certain death. That's probably why we saw them freak out and hide when the signal was given. They realized they were being followed, so they hid. They understood what would happen if they got caught, and they knew that their weapons were no match for Wolf's tanks and modern armaments, so their chances weren't great. That's why the Serapites prefer to strike by surprise when they go on the attack. If anyone sees them coming or hears them, they could be taken out from a distance. In the story, the tension with Wolf was building up more and more with the looming threat. There was a conflict brewing, so the Serapites decided to raise an army. They faced off against Wolf while the Prophet was still alive, and continued to fight both during and after her capture and death. But it was Isaac Dixon, Wolf's leader, who we'll probably meet in episode 4 of season 2, who ultimately killed her, thinking she was too much of a threat to keep around. That's when the Serapites' strategy shifted a bit. They have scars on the sides of their cheeks, known as the Chelsea smile or the Glasgow smile. There are a few reasons why this is done. One of the main reasons dates back to when a military was being formed to battle wolves. During a special ceremony, they would cut the soldiers' cheeks as part of an initiation process, showing their commitment to the army. Another reason for these scars became a part of custom. The religion we saw with characters like Constance, a young Sarapite from episode 3, has a deeper meaning tied to their scars. These scars symbolize the imperfections of humanity, which is something the Prophet talked about. As for the Serapites' fighting style, they prefer using quiet, easy-to-handle weapons. They move around in a way that affects their transportation. That's why we saw them using hammers and bows and arrows. They're all about close combat and like to sneak up on their enemies. That's why they put so much effort into making their weapons as quiet as possible. Plus, wearing green helps them blend in so they depend more on stealth than just charging in with brute strength. Because of their style, the Cerebites have ended up being attacked by wolves. Years. That's why they were scared when they were being followed, and why the group leader said wolves were the worst thing to deal with. Their history definitely shapes how they think and why they choose to run away instead of standing their ground and fighting. I bet we'll see some flashbacks in episode 4 that will show us how the Cerebites battled against the wolves, maybe even their first encounter. So there you go, the rundown on the Seraphites in The Last of Us Season 2. If you want to catch every episode breakdown of Season 2, check out the playlist below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. What do you think about Season 2 so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you